All right, hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about how you can pull data from Microsoft Excel and use it in a Microsoft Word document. And then I'm going to teach you how you can make it use relative paths. So I'm going to start by talking about mail merge. This is probably not why you came here today, and I'll be very quick. And then I'm going to talk about how you can pull data from any cell into Microsoft Word, how you can fix the way it's going to appear, and then I'm gonna teach how to use the relative paths. So before we move on with the video, I'd like to ask you to please like and subscribe to help my channel, or maybe not, maybe share it with your friends, and if you don't like the video, then share it with your enemies. So let's get started. Alright, so before we move on, let's start with the basics. First, you're gonna go here and click File, do something I highly recommend. Click on File, then you go to Options, Advanced. Right here, somewhere in the middle, you are going to find Show Document Content, and I'd recommend you to click Show Bookmarks and use field shading as always. Alright, so after you turn on these two options here, you're gonna start seeing these fields in gray shading, and yeah, that's it for now. Alright, we're gonna start talking about mail merge. So I had ready here some examples here. You are going to need to create a contact file or some sort of source file and your destination file. I have here my, oh, it's locked for edit. Okay, yeah, okay. And I have here 3 lines with last, first name, some concatenation. If you want to learn more about how to use this formula, there is an option to concatenate first and last name. And also there is another way to combine. So the way to use concat is just concat, and then you open parentheses and you add first. You need to add the space and last. Another way you can do this is by using equal, then you use the cell that you want to display, and so this is going to add the whatever you write here right next to this value. So use the ampersand and, so in this case I added a comma and a space, then the ampersand again, and first name. As you can see, I basically achieved the same thing by using either concatenate or the ampersand in the formula. Then I have here some things that you can use, like invoice number, items, and so on. Alright, so the advantages of the mail merge over copy and paste is that you can use several lines to create several letters at once. And the other method, which is copy and pasting, I'm going to talk about that yet, is slightly different. So everything here, and okay, so a disadvantage is that you cannot do this using mail merge. You cannot add here a source. You kind of can, right? You can go here and select the name, Jane Doe here, but for each letter, yes, it's going to show up to use the information in the next line, and mail merge can only use one line at a time. So let's do some demonstration here. So dear, and here is how you're going to use the mail merge. You are going to go here and click select, oh sorry, you go here on mailings, then start mail merge. You are going to use an existing list, right? So then you go there to, where is it? Here. You're going to use the Excel file that we created as the source. you're going to have to select the sheet, right? So here you need to add something. You want to add the first and last name of the person. So you're going to click here on Insert Merge Field, and I'm going to use the field that I created there as an example, concatenate. Depending on your source file, you will have first and last name there, right? So dear John Smith, this is going to be showing up, and then comma. This is going to be showing up because I selected here preview results. You may be seeing these instead. So it's dear concatenate invoice, then I have the invoice number, and you can also use this into the header sections. Okay, so I'm going to make a mistake here on purpose just to demonstrate that you cannot simply select any fixed name or any specific source from a source file using mail merge. So here I am going to, well, the author that I had would be Jane Doe, but I cannot select that specific cell even though Jane Doe is on line 2 of the example, right? So here's the mistake on purpose. Okay, so here's some random information, item 1, 2, 10. So you can create mail merge to create invoices. And I said I was going to be very quick. I'm taking too long here. So when you want to see the results, so this is the mail merge using the first line, which was John Smith, invoice number this, and the source is John Smith. When you click the right arrow here, you're going to see the next record. So it's Jane Doe. As you can see, the source here changed, right? So I made it different on Excel here to put a comma here on purpose. That's why you're seeing that. But you can use any field from your source file there. Okay, so as you can see, some information changed here. I had some random information here. Here's some random information or message to this client. So some random information here. Line 1, line 2, which is client 1. Of course, line 1 is the headers, are the headers. And okay, so how is letter number 2 or letter to recipient number 2 is going to look like? It is going to look like this. So in this case, John Smith bought a bike and a helmet, but Jane Doe bought a car, the key, the remote starter, and so on. So I have here some other information. Okay, whenever you're done with your mail merge, you can click here, finish and merge, and you can send email messages in HTML format, which is really cool, or you can edit individual documents. It is going to show up. It's going to show you one by one, or just print the documents. It is going to print as many lines as you have there. In my example, I had 3 lines. As you can see, here is Harry Potter. He canceled his purchase or whatever. Then on line 4, I don't have a client. I only have 3 lines. And yeah, that's it for mail merge. As I said, this is not why you came today. So let's talk about some cooler things that you can do to pull data from Excel into Microsoft Word. Alright, so let's start with the second part. I created a folder here with some files pre-made. And I call this folder copy and paste because copy and paste is going to be the method that we are going to use. Right, so I have here balance, contact, whatever source of information you can think of, and our destination document. So it's already open here with some pre-populated information to speed up the video. So let's get to it. So let's open here the contacts. And I have here, just to recap, last name Smith, John. So you can use the concatenate formula to get whatever is in C3, quotation marks, blank space, quotation mark, then what is on B3 because I don't want to call anyone by the last then the first name. So depending on your source information, you may have to do this in your source file, or you can also use the ampersand method, which is basically the same thing. I just wanted to keep last name, comma, first name. Okay, now you're gonna copy and paste some information here and make it dynamic. Whenever you edit the information on Excel, it's going to be edited here. So I have some random text here. I have an author of a random fake article here. And then I have some information about finances and so on. So let me open that one too. Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. Let's get to it. So dear, I want to use John Smith, so I'm going to copy this cell and then I'm going to right click, and you are going to paste using one of those methods, either the link and keep source formatting. So as you can see, John Smith is blue, or I can merge formatting, which is probably better since you're using Word and you want it to match the destination. So let's go with this option. So whenever I change the information here, and then I change, it's going to be changed here, right? And yeah, that's about it. And as you can see, this is not the way you want it to be showing. You want it to be without a breaking a line here. So let's just put all the information we want first. So our profit jumped X%. So I'm going to go to my example balance document. And here I have a percentage. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to replace this in the yellow highlight. Remember, you paste using keep and source format with a link, or this one merge format. It broke the line again. Let me just remove this highlight real quick here. Okay, so how do you fix this? You are going to press the left Alt on your keyboard and F9 to display field codes. And then we have some field code switches here. To be honest, I don't know what half of them do, but this one I do know. You have to use the /T to make it a text only, right? So all you need to do is you go here after the /H and you put the /T. And if I want to know what all these other field code switches do, I can just Google it. I don't need it right now, and if I Google it just because, I'll probably forget it. Okay, so let's do it with all of them. This one for Jane Doe already had this /T. This one is missing, /T. There's an extra space. Remove. I want to remove the highlight here for good. And it has a /T already. Okay, and right. So everything is correct now. I am going to toggle the field codes to how it should be, and I'm going to update this. One thing that you are going to notice is if you right click, you are not going to see the usual edit field here. So you have to select everything and press F9. Let me just show how an edit field should be. So if I press Ctrl F9, it should. Okay, so if I right click here, it knows it's include text. It is going to give me the update field option, which you don't have here. You don't have here when you're calling information from Excel. Let me just update it. It is going to give me an error message. So every time you press F9, you update field codes. So there you go. Everything when you added the information was Ctrl-Z, was breaking lines. This is not how you want it to look like. you add /t, then you update everything, and it's going to be right. Now, one thing that you're going to notice is that I don't want these 2 decimal places here, so I can just manually edit here. This is one of the advantages of this method. Right. So there are ways you can use here the /number sign to fix this if you don't want to fix it manually, or you could just go to Excel and fix it there. So if I change this to remove the decimal places here, save, when I go back here, it's automatically fixed. So this is one way you can fix it. You can manually edit it, or you can use the field codes. So you could go here and put /number sign. Then I could put, just an example, that's a percentage. I don't want to use the $sign. So let's put $, and one number without decimal places. When I update it, it is going to be fixed, right? So let's fix that because I don't want the $sign. Sometimes when we're using this, the computer gets very slow. So just to give you another example here, let's put 3 decimal places and remove the $sign. Update with F9, right? Okay. Another way you can do, another thing you can do to update this is, if you forget what F9 does, is if you have something that don't pull data from Excel, and you can watch my other videos talking about that, is you can go here, select everything, and then you use this. All right, okay, here's what you can do. So if this is the first information that you have, a field code before all the information that you pull from Excel, you can select everything and you can right click this, and when you update field, you are going to update everything. Let me make a mistake here. Then select everything, right click, update field, and then it's going to be fixed. All right, so that's it for this information, and I don't need this anymore. I can delete. So this is how you pull data from Excel and you use it nicely in the text. And to fix numbers, I found an interesting website. I'm not associated to them in any way, but I thought the information was very useful and very organized, and it's ablebits.com. The title is How to Fix Mail Merge. Yeah, mail merge formatting issues in Word, causes and fixes. So Svetlana Chusheva is going to teach you all about those field code switches here and how you can fix the numbers and make them show the right way. As you can see, it also works with mail merge. And yeah, that's about it. I have other stuff to talk about. Let me stop here. All right, so let's move on to the next part here real quick. You can use this, I'll be talking more about relative paths soon. You can use this to fetch information from a folder anywhere in your computer. So I have here information from a folder above and information from a subfolder. Waiting for two, right? Just save it by any chance. Information. All right, so all you have to do is you go here and update it with F9. Okay, that's it for this part. You can use folders from anywhere in your computer. All right, let's get complicated now. So one of the limitations of this method is this. Let's say you are a lawyer or you work in law enforcement, or for whatever reason you need to create a list of references. So here I created a table in Excel first. I created the event date here just to organize what I'm going to tell you in Scramble. A good practice you always should have working with tables is that you have an ID for each line in case you have to reorder things and you want to revert it back to the original, or if you use slicers, for instance, if you create this column, you are always able to return it to the original format, and you can make it small or you can hide it if you want. Okay, so now these would be the references in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the way I receive the files in the example I'm going to talk about. So as you can see here, it would be like this, right? So imagine, so let's go here first. You receive the files and then you start writing your report and you put the reference here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But in this situation, imagine you're writing a report with references in the order you receive. You want to start working on the file, but someone forgot to forward you a file from an index or a file, right? Any file. And you have to change the order. When you change the order of the text here, it is not going to change the order here on Excel, right? So you need to create a third column for just in case if this third column is, in this case, chronological order, is not going to match the other order, so that you can fix this later, right? Because Excel doesn't know. So let's go to the example here. On May 7, this and this happened. This is reference number 1. Then something happened on May 9, and I already wrote it, and I numbered that reference as number 2. Then on May 10, that happened, and I already numbered that reference as number 3. But then I got something from May 8, right? That should, you don't want this to be the reference number 4. You want this to be here. And when you do this, nothing is going to change on Excel. It is still going to be reference number 4, right? And okay, let's reorder everything just for this example here. Then we have something that happened on May 10. Okay. All right, so you have this, it's all backwards. That's not the way you want, right? So you think, okay, I'm gonna go here and I'm simply going to reorder this in chronological order and I'll be fine. Then when you go here and you update, you're not fine at all, right? Things are still wrong. And that's because, remember our example from, so let me go back to what it was before. May 8 reference 4, right? And then May 8 became reference 3. That's because when you press CTRL F9, that reference here from May 8 is pointing to row 6, column 10. So how do you fix this? The way you fix this is you're gonna have to work on Excel a little bit. So you have to go here on this, which is the actual reference that we had. You're gonna have to match your ID number, because this is the column I'm pulling data from, and you have to make it exactly as the column to the right. Okay, that's 4, 5, 6, and 31. And if you go here and you update it, it's still going to be messy and wrong. So you are going to fix this by using your index column. So when I reorder this to how it was since the beginning, right? This is not going to look nice for now, so you can just rename that column later after you do all this. But here in the text, when you update everything, there you go. Now everything is matched. So evidence number 1 is 1, JPG and reference number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 31, just because, in the correct order. So there you go. You will need 3 columns when you're working with this to go around this limitation of this method. Alright, so in the next part I am going to talk about how to make all of this, but instead of using fixed paths like this, I'm going to teach you how to use relative paths. People say it's not supposed to work, but I'm going to teach you a nice trick, and I'm going to tell you, yes, it can work. You can create template folders, and then you can rename them or do whatever you want. It will keep working. All right? Thank you, and see you until the next video. If I helped you somehow, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to help my channel. Thank you.